instances where Lord has given love of Godhead to some people, and those people become pure devotees without practicing the 9 process of devotional service and without any tests of Maya. So why only some souls get this special mercy? Why not others? Because in our condition, there is always chance to fall down while fighting against Maya.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. The first consideration is Krishna is Swarat. He is completely independent. So he can do whatever he wants to do. But at the same time, when it comes to devotion, Krishna does not go out of his way to offer devotion and bhakti on his own. It has been pointed out specifically by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his Madhurya Kadambini that Krishna doesn't give bhakti. Bhakti is given by the mercy of Krishna's devotees. One of the main reasons for that is if Krishna gave bhakti to some but did not give to others, then Krishna would be considered to be partial. But Krishna is not partial. Krishna is absolutely impartial. Therefore, bhakti is not actually given by Krishna himself, but bhakti is generally distributed through the via medium of Krishna's devotees. Krishna's devotees, they are partial. They can go out of their way to give bhakti to whoever they want to. And now that is Krishna's position, but when Krishna appeared as a devotee, then Krishna has gone out of his way to distribute bhakti to anyone and everyone. Krishna is, in this particular pastime, since he has appeared as a devotee with the mood of Srimati Radharani, Krishna is very, very magnanimous. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going out of his way to distribute bhakti to everyone. In this incarnation, he does not have any consideration of offenses. He doesn't have any consideration of qualification. He is just giving out this bhakti. That's why he is considered to be most munificent appearance of the Lord, Mahavadanya. But at the same time, a devotee should consider that he should qualify himself. Although Mahaprabhu's mercy is coming down without any reservation, without any consideration of qualification, but a devotee should, on his part, he should try to follow the rules and regulations of Vaidhi Bhakti and try to elevate himself to the platform of qualification. So it's a two-way thing. Mahaprabhu's mercy is coming down, inundating the whole world, whereas the devotee, while receiving that mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, should follow the rules and regulations of the scriptures, Vaidhi Bhakti, specifically try to follow the 9 processes of devotion, especially the first 2 of them, Shravanam and Kirtanam. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. This is to His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. How to get rid of mental speculation in the context that we are in association of devotees. Sometimes my mind imagines things about devotees, sometimes good or bad. This actually tries to superimpose some other thought process upon me, although I am trying to become servant. It destroys my absorption. Also, I am unable to understand. Why do I feel problem when mind speculates, imagines good or high about any devotee. Speculates imaginary good or high about any devotee.
The constant point in that question is speculation and imagination. And that's the nature of the mind, the material mind. It's restless. Mind is called chanchala. It's flickering, it's restless. It's going from one thought to another, contemplating sense objects, thinking how to enjoy, thinking how to facilitate the needs of the senses. So one of the first principles, actually it's the first principle, is one has to carefully control the mind. And that's mentioned in the Gita as one of the features of practicing bhakti. The 6th chapter of Bhakti Yoga, sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita teaches Dhyana Yoga, which carefully explains the nature of the mind and also how to control the mind. And in that 6th chapter, Krishna gives some really strong statements that the mind is the best friend and the worst enemy. When the mind is engaged in devotional service according to the instructions of the spiritual master, it's one's friend. When that mind is not under that control or that direction, it will be subjected to imagination and speculation. Therefore, the process of bhakti means to not only to control one's external activities, but also to very carefully control the mind. Krishna says in Gita, Manmana bhava mad bhakto mam yaji mam namaskuru. And one should always think of me. Now that may not be easy. It isn't easy at any stage, but especially in the early stages. So we practice that principle of always thinking about Krishna by meditating on the instructions of the spiritual master, keeping one's mind focused on the directions of the scriptures, and engaging in devotional service. Otherwise, the mind will. That's the nature of the mind. Therefore, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati gives a very powerful statement. He says, your mind is a non-devotee. So if you associate with your mind, you're associating with a non-devotee. So therefore, you have to make your mind a devotee. Otherwise, you're going to be victimized. So therefore, a devotee is introspective. Carefully controls the mind and directs the mind according to the instructions coming from scripture, coming from the spiritual master. There are 3 ways to control the mind. One, Prabhupada says, to always engage the mind in devotional service. That is the recommended way. Another way is to always be meditating on the instructions of the spiritual master, thinking of the instructions of the spiritual master, how to carry them out. And third, he says to work for the welfare of others, to think of the good of others and how to serve others. So unless we keep that mind engaged in the process of devotional service, the mind will naturally go, and that's the nature of the conditioned mind. Until the mind reaches transcendence, it'll always be going from one thought to another. Imagination, speculation, what is that? Sankalpa, vikalpa, accepting something and then rejecting the same thing. So this is the nature of the mind. And Krishna, in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asks the question, Chanchala, Himana Krishna, Balava, Durdana, Pramata, what is it? Vayo idam saduskaram, that the mind is restless. It's very unsteady. And he says, I think to control the mind is like trying to control the wind. And Krishna answers in the next verse, yes, you're right, but it is possible. Abhyasena tu kunteya vairagyena chigrihate. That means Krishna is saying to detach oneself from sense gratification and engage oneself in devotional service. Otherwise, this process of imagination, speculation will continue to go on until we actually can carefully control the mind through the process of devotional service.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. This is to Bhakti Vishrambar Madhav Maharaj. In many books, such as A Second Chance, books which tells about the glories of the holy name, it is said that just by uttering the holy name, person gets freed from all past sinful reactions at once. But in one of the Puranas quoted by a devotee in one lecture, he said, by chanting the holy name of Lord, one gets purified of sinful reaction gradually. What is the exact concept?
Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. Everything is according to what we give. The Harinam is the same thing. Bahir Akshara. Maharaj, what is the statement of Bhaktivinoda Thakur in that statement? I heard there is one quote. That Bahir Akshara Namahai Namanahihai. What is the exact Bengali? Do you know? No, that was the other one, but that was. Can you speak it in the? Can you speak it? No, Maharaj, you speak it for all of us. Speak it for all of us.
So, but what Maharaj was asking me to quote is from Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, that now he says, Nam Akkhar Bahirai, Nam Kobhu Noy.
Kobhu Noy.
That is, the syllables of the names, the words of the names are pronounced, but that's not the holy name.
Yes, that's it. So that is exactly the Bengali I was looking for. So the point is this, is it the Hare Krishna? What Nam is it? Is it Bhukti Nam, Mukti Nam, Pratibimba Nam, Chaya Nam? What Nam is it? So if you're chanting another Nama, then you cannot expect the same Anartha Jabe, Sakala Anartha Jabe. Shuddha Nama, pure name, that will give Sakala Anartha Jabe. But if you're not surrendering, if you're chanting another name, then how can you expect? If you're chanting Bhukti Nam, I remember there was a driver in Bombay, BBT, when I was production manager there. And he said, I want a son. I want a son. I go to Radharas Bihari and I want a son. So I say, Hari Baba, Baba Baba, Hari Hari. You know what he said? I want a Baba, I want a boy. And when he told me that, I laughed. I said, here is an example of Bhukti Nama. I loved it. You're asking Krishna for something bautic, something external. But Narada Muni in 1st Canto, chapter 6, verse 33 says, because I chant without any motivation, only to please him, then he comes running on those names as if I called him to come. All of you in this audience have seen that. from ABC to GBC, if we call out plaintively, if you call out Dake jadi kono jan hoye dina akin chan, and nahi deki anya pratikar. If you call out Dake with very, very determination, with dependency, like a child crying for mother, Prabhupada said, Mother Hara, then you'll get reciprocation. Tava spalpa spurti pai, ugra tapa dure jai, and lila bhanga hoyanayase. Lila bhanga hoyanayase means, what was the problem? What was it? You know, in retrospect, 3 years later, it's like, it's gone. It wasn't significant. While you're suffering, now it's significant. But later on, it becomes destroyed. Everything destroyed according to Shraddha and according to surrender. What you don't surrender, you don't get. Simple as that. Simple as that. Now, does that answer the question about it?
Well, I think the person who asked, you have simplified it, so I'm sure it is
No.
clear to them.
What is your opinion? You're the point is that he is reading the question to make sure. Now, we should also have feedback in what we're giving. Because if we're not giving it enough, if we're not answering your question enough, then pop lagega. We also get. It's not a free, there's no free lunch here. So if we're not answering the question to the point, to the T, he has the right to rephrase the question again to us in a gentlemanly way. If we have forgotten something, like with, and not only that, but the question should be easily phrased with all of us. Like when Chandramauli was answering his question, I also thought of some answer. Well, the point is that we can all share. So if I didn't answer the question complete, then you has a right to rephrase the question again or ask something that I forgot so that we can address it or the Maharajas can address it.
Now I'll be very careful to listen to the answer because I was focusing on the next question. Trying to properly phrase. Now I shall be attentive both ways, Maharaj.
You should have an assistant, nah? One person should be looking to make sure the next question is good, and you should be busy with the other one. You should have two people. Two heads are better than one.
Yes, Maharaj. But with the first part of the question I did hear and I was satisfied.
No. What do you say? What do you say to the point? Huh? All right, Maharaj?
Well, I will say you didn't quite answer the question, Maharaj.
Yeah! We love feedback. Great. So do it.
No, I'm just putting it back to you.
Yeah, Maharaj. No, Maharaj. You're our superiors. We're always ready to hear from you, Maharaj.
Very cool.
Go.
We live in a world of democracy.
Demon crazy. Right. We surrendered your feet, Maharaj. We are your subordinate. We will always be your subordinate.
So you mean I'm a bigger demon?
No, you, Maharaj, you're a great soul. We went to surrender to you.
The question was that it is said in the scriptures that just by chanting the holy name, one becomes free from sinful reactions, even at the stage of Namabhash, whereas Narad Muni is mentioning, was it Narad Muni, that it's gradually, this development actually is a gradual development. So I want you to elaborate on that.
Gradual development. All right, in the 11th canto, chapter 2, verse 55, it states that if somebody chants Hare Krishna offensively or inattentively, still Krishna is so compassionate, he is ready to destroy innumerable reactions. Then what to speak of one who chants with genuine love? Krishna cannot cannot remove himself from the heart of those who chant with genuine love. One who has captured the Supreme Personality of Godhead is called Bhagavata Pradhana.
Good. So I made you churn the nectar a little more.
Are you? But wait, you're not. You have to elaborate further, Maharaj.
No, you did it.
No, but that wasn't the answer to the question completely.
No, you did it. But
that's not the complete answer to the question. You don't. Do you have anything to add? Add more.
You're both right.
He gave his judgment. Okay, good.
Go ahead, whatever.
Krishna. So, ye yathamam prapadyante. According to your sincerity of the audience, I'm sure you all have got your answers respectively. So, this is to BhaktiCaru Swami Maharaj. How to preach to an ungrateful person?
Actually, Bhakti Vishrambar Madhav Maharaj made one point which was quite relevant. It'll be nice to know who the question is coming from. This is your question. Okay. On how to preach to an ungrateful person. You see, preaching is an art. When you are preaching to the person, a preacher must assess his sincerity, assess the level that he is in, and also assess his ability to grasp what he is. Like, say, for example, you may be a PhD, but when you go to a kindergarten school, you don't give your full PhD spiel there, right? You teach them according to their ability to understand. So when it comes to preaching, we have to see how the person is. Like, if he is ungrateful, but if he is not offensive, then yes, you can give it a try. But generally, it has been advised that it's better to avoid the offensive people, especially those who are not really willing to listen to you, who are just going to simply try to find faults in what you are saying. It's better to avoid those people because it's a waste of time. But if a person may be ungrateful, but if he has some intelligence, if he has some common sense, if you can appeal to his intelligence and common sense and make him understand that there is a Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is a spiritual reality beyond this material nature. Even in this material nature, we see that there are two things existing side by side, inert matter and living being, and what's causing some matter to be alive. And in this way, if you can make him understand the existence of the spirit soul and make him understand the nature of the spirit soul, that it is eternal, it's imperishable, it's immortal, and the body is just a temporary covering, but the soul is eternal, the soul is spiritual, and the soul comes to this material nature from the spiritual sky, and the soul's business is to go back to the spiritual world. So even if he may be ungrateful, but if he has that intelligence and if you can appeal to his intelligence, yes, you should give it a try and make him understand. Preaching means to make one understand the difference between matter and spirit, the difference between the body and the soul, difference between a living entity and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the need of a living entity to surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's the essence of preaching, and that's, and we must try to make one understand, appealing to his intelligence and common sense. All right? Thank you. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. This is to Suresh Chandramauli Swami Maharaj. Some devotees fall down even after doing great services. why doesn't Krishna help them when they are about to fall down, seeing the services, what they have done?
Oh, why do you say Krishna doesn't help them? Krishna is always trying to help. It's whether they can recognize Krishna's help or not. It's a point to recognize. Krishna doesn't want anyone to fall down, but at the same time, one has to follow the process. So we can see in our own life when we're getting a little off. If we're sincere, Krishna pushes us back in different ways, through different devotees, through circumstance. So Krishna is always trying to give you the intelligence and also make you aware of what your situation is. But usually when you're falling, it's hard to see that because you're already covered. So therefore, it takes some sincerity to be able to break through that. But Krishna never lets the devotee fall. It's due to their own situation. And Krishna is always trying to help. Kantiya pratijanihi name bhakti pranashyati. Krishna is always trying to help his devotee in different ways.
Thank you, Madhav. This is to Bhakti Vishrambar Madhav Maharaj. How to cure the disease of the eye?
Temporary, yeah.
That is, looking at the things of this material world which apparently appears attractive but which is not. How to cure the disease of the eye, that is, looking at the things of this material world which apparently appear attractive but which is not.
It comes to mind the story of Srila Ramanujacharya. The story that he was walking with his disciples in Sri Rangam, and they saw one man holding a chhatri, an umbrella, over his wife. And the disciples were laughing at that the man was very henpecked or like that. And Ramanujacharya said, no, you should ask him what is his motivation for doing that. And the disciples approached him, why are you doing that? Now, I appreciate beauty. I appreciate the principle of beauty. I have not found anyone more beautiful than my wife. Therefore, I'm putting this umbrella over her in appreciation of her beauty. Then Ramanujacharya said, suppose I show you someone more beautiful than that. Are you ready to surrender to that? And they said, yes. So he brought them in front of Ranganath. And Ramanujacharya prayed to Ranganath that, my dear Lord, please show something of your sweetness now. So the Lord gave his darshan at the request of Ramanujacharya to that devotee. Then Ramanujacharya asked them, so have you seen somebody more beautiful? And they said, oh yes, we've not seen anyone more beautiful than this Lord, yes. So then they surrendered and they became very, very, very sincere householder disciples of Ramanujacharya. Very sincere. So we have to see param drishva navartate. You have to see some greater beauty. Otherwise, yad yad vimurivat sattvam srimat urjatame bhava tat tat eva vigachatvam mama tejo amjasam bhavam. In Vibhutim Yoga, Krishna tells Arjuna that know that all beautiful, mighty, splendorous things in this world is but a mama tejo amjasam bhavam, just a spark of my splendor. So all beauty emanates from Krishna, but due to the modes of material nature, they have no brains to see that. Therefore, a devotee, like BhaktiCaru Maharaj was saying about preaching, you try to package the beauty according to their ability to perceive that beauty. You try to say something is very beautiful. Just like there was one story when Prabhupada was arguing with some Brahmavadi, And afterwards, Prabhupada laughed and said, that's all right, give him some prasadam. It's like that, who argues with a sweet ball? Who argues with a samosa? You know what I mean? So that's beautiful. The samosa, the sweet ball is beautiful. I have one godbrother, Gopijana Vallabha Swami, who told me he became a devotee by Magach, just Gujarati besan laddu on the street of New York. So that besan laddu Magach was Krishna's beauty right there in the form of prasadam. So beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But if the eyes are covered by the jaundice of avidya, they cannot see what is sweet, what is beautiful. Like Maharaj also said, Svabhaktya Vasyata, that Krishna's willing to give himself to the proportionate to the prayers of his devotee to give him. So it's the compassion of the devotee. As Gauranga said, that any of my devotees, these devotees Gauranga was glorifying in Chaitanya Charitamrita 15th chapter of Madhya Lila, that they can sell me in the market as they like. They can give me in the market. So the beauty of a thing is understandable also by the prayer of the devotee to the Supreme Lord. And the Supreme Lord will personally give the devotee intelligence how to package him in such a way so that he can see beauty. They can actually see the beauty of things. Real beauty is, like Bhaktivinoda says, Yari kavya rasa nahi kavya rasa. Akalik bhavana goro rasohi rasa. Alamanya gatha anushilanaya. Vajagodruma kanana kunja vidum. The essence of all beauty, of all poetry is not poetical. The topics of Gauranga is real poetry. Just enough of any other topic. Just worship Lord Chaitanya, the moon of Godruma's forest powers. So that is actual beauty. Krishna, Gauranga, Harikatha, that's beauty. But only the purified heart can see that. Therefore, we should try to purify them. Then gradually they'll understand what is more and more beautiful in relation to Krishna.
Thank you, Madhav. Yes.
Okay, now, back to home.
Where is Radhanath Maharaj?
He's cheating us.
Yeah.
He said, I'm coming. He told me, I'm coming. I'm just now coming. Right.
He told me he's coming in 2 minutes.
Thodi der ki baat, matlab 3 din ki baat. Maharaj is just, he wants to give he wants to put us on the spot. He's so merciful to us. He'll come. You save your best questions for Maharaj.
So this is a question to BhaktiCaru Swami Maharaj. This thing has puzzled me since so long. What is the real meaning of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur's instruction that one should beat his mind with shoes and broom after waking and before sleeping? Does it refer to some other activity than taking the broom and shoes? Please help.
The purpose of a broom is to clean, and purpose of beating with a shoe is to humiliate. When you hit somebody with a shoe, that is considered to be the worst kind of humiliation. So the objective is that when you start your day, you humiliate your mind to such an extent that it will try to become more humble than a blade of grass. And at the end of the day, you beat it with a broom so that all the dirt that it has collected throughout the day, it can be washed off, it can be cleansed of that.
Oh,
No, it is recorded. Everything is
Okay.
recorded. Ooh, that was good.
Wonderful. And the shoe and the broom is the holy name?
Tell us more.
Yes, Chandramauli Maharaj.
Is that correct?
Yeah, sure.
Add some more? That was...
No, you started to do it. Please, feel free to do that.
Seems like the holy name has both purposes.
Okay, so Maharaj's purport
Is that
is,
the broom and the shoe is the holy name?
yeah, it is a holy name that acts as the shoe in the morning and broom at night, meaning throughout the day you chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
Hare Krishna. This is to Chandramauli Maharaj. We heard in the lecture about implicit faith on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even after spending 3 to 4 years in Krishna consciousness, I still don't have that faith. Kindly explain the way to develop it.
How to develop implicit faith? Prabhupada gives a lecture, he's discussing this principle on faith. And he was explaining how to develop faith. And then Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj asked the question, where does faith come from? Prabhupada said faith comes from purity. So Prabhupada explains that faith may be realized or faith may be blind, but faith in the right thing will always get you the result. So faith comes by practicing devotional service in the association of devotees and very carefully following the process and hearing, through the process of hearing from those who are worthy to speak, in other words, the pure devotees, the scriptures, hearing from Srila Prabhupada, we develop faith. And then, whether we understand the principle or not, if we have faith in that person who is pure, then whatever they say, we can accept without a doubt, even though we may not fully understand that. And that faith is just as good as realized faith because it'll get the same result. So through the association of devotees and hearing from devotees, serving devotees, the process of devotional service, faith develops. Is it Adao Strado, Sadhu Sangha, and then Bhajana Kriya. And through the process of devotional service, we actually develop faith and anartha nivritti, and then the unwanted things go within the heart, and then one remains steady. On the platform of nishta, or steadiness, and one's faith is firm, is fixed. And it's not a matter of circumstance, it's a matter of keeping that understanding of the instructions of the spiritual master and that faith in those instructions. And Prabhupada would say, my spiritual master, he's wrong, but he's right. That means even though I may not understand, or it may seem like what he's saying is not correct, still I have that faith because I have faith in everything he says. He has proven that to me by his words, by his actions, by his realizations. So develop that faith, associate with those who have faith, and follow the process. Hearing. You have to hear, constantly hear in the association of devotees.
There's two kinds of faith.
Turn on Maharaj's microphone so he can add something. Would you like that? You want to add something? He wants to tell me to add it. Okay.
One is called Swanishta Shraddha, and there's Parinishta Shraddha.
Swanishta Parada and Parinishta.
Paribhavita Shraddha and Paribhavita Shraddha and Swabhavika Shraddha.
And the differences?
One is by yourself and the other one is generated from other people. Vishwanath says. Chakravarti, Madhurikadam.
Our process is sadhu sangha.
Mostly generated by others.
Okay.
Sometimes a devotee gets their faith from external circumstances. They come to meet devotees because they were kicked by Durga or by their sufferings or by their circumstances. This is called Swabhavika. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes it as Swabhavika. Coming out of your own situation, you develop Shraddha in something. It has to do with Antaryami. Antaryami within the heart is pushing the living entity. And other times it's Paribhavita, by the mercy of other devotees. Like I heard one story how a devotee is made by Tulsi Rani, simply by serving her, without any knowledge who she was. Simply by serving her, and Tulsi Rani turned her around within weeks and turned her into a devotee. This is an example of Paribhavita Shraddha, that Shraddha was incurred by serving and getting the mercy of others. So Maharaj was right, he was just saying sadhu sangha are many times devotees are made because their doubts were destroyed due to seeing the faith and forbearance of another devotee that increased their faith and their forbearance. Okay.
Since we are on faith, I would like to add one more question that has been asked. Preaching to faithless person is one of the 10 offenses. And how should one preach faithless person?
Chandramauli already answered the question about somebody who hasn't got any faith in it. Ungrateful. It sounds like very similar to what BhaktiCaru said. Do you agree, BhaktiCaru?
No, I did not deal with that offense. I mean, a person who is offensive. I said, it's better not to waste time trying to preach to an offensive person. Because to begin with, he's offensive. He's not really going to. So give him some Mahaprasad.
He's defeated already.